the other dudes that was with my man decided to stab the shit out of him and poke him up. So me not knowing what's going on, I run to the next person and I run to the next person. And when I see the sirens and I see the lights, I take off. I'm on a run for 2 weeks, right? Um, this dude bled out. We're on the run for a body now. So I'm still stuck in this house filled with these Latin kings, right? Um, trying to get the fuck out of there, man. I'm trying to figure out how I can get out of here and just get low. Um, so they're higher up. Their person in charge is like, yo, listen, I can get you out of here. I can line something up for you for a robbery, get some money, and you can start over. So I'm like, all right, let's go, let's do it. I take a dry run. I look at it. We sit on it, go back, and then he's supposed to come get me when it's supposed to be a green light, right?
Okay.
He come and gets me off a whim. Doesn't just brings me in the car. I get in the car, just awkward vibes. You know what I mean? He rolls down the window. I roll the window up. It's just weird shit going on as soon as I get in the car. We're driving. This dude is like fucking 6'5", 6'6", and like 350. Like a big linebacker. So when this dude talks, these dudes that he's around, they listen. You know what I mean? They don't talk back. You know what I mean? So you could tell he has a different approach with me. You know what I'm saying? Because he's trying to get chummy with me now. Like he's telling me about his day, his wife, his kids, and he didn't take a shower and all this other shit. But when we get to a light, he's like, "Yeah, I didn't take a shower. I smell like onions." Goes like this. He never puts his hands down, bro. The police run up on the side of the vehicle. They take him out, put him on the back of the vehicle. Now, mind you, I got weapons possessions on my shit, violence. You know, um, they asked me my name about 3-4 times. They searched me about 3-4 times, and they throw me inside of the gang intelligence vehicle, right? So they're holding up traffic now. This dude is on the back of the car. I'm in the back of gang intelligence vehicle. Homicide comes and pulls up. They asked this dude a question, and they told him to get the fuck out of there, right? So they're holding up traffic now, smoking cigars. So the dude that was bringing me on a lick pretty much brung me to get caught by the police, if you get what I'm saying. So he brings me to the police and turns me in. They charge me with murder in a second. Going to court now. We're going to court, trying to figure this shit out. In the process, right? My guns that I had in the house gets taken. They turn it in to the fucking DA, and they get one of their guys out. Like one of the guys that was there, he comes out and he ain't got no charges now. So it's like I took his term, like it was an exchange kind of shit. And they got my guns and shit. So we're going to court. My man that I went up there for, in short, I'm gonna say this in short, he fucking ends up telling, bro. 6 months into this shit, we going to court. Now, mind you, I'm just now really getting to know my co-defendants because I didn't know them before. You know what I mean? Like, we going to court every time. We talking, we giving the war stories of what's going on inside of where we're at. You know what I mean? So we're waiting for the second bus to come in because the first bus, he wasn't on the bus. Him and this other kid that was a part of co-defendants. Second bus come. We're like, yo, where's the second? Where's everybody at? There's a third bus coming. The lawyers come, yo, listen, man. They're not coming in, man. They got let out the side door. They're telling. So now we're like, oh, shit. So we're fighting this shit now. Every time I'm going to court, man, they like, yo, first offer is 18 to life. I'm like, yo, I'll take the 18 without the life. They're like, let's keep on going. We're going. Every time I go back, yo, I'll take 15 right now, no life. Y'all take 10 right now, no life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm willing to take because it is what it is, bro. Like, it was done is done. We already know what the fuck happened. Let's try to get the best deal out of this. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And anything without an L on it is fucking great. So I'm all for it. I'm 19. If I take this 18, I'll be home when I'm 36. You know what I mean? So I'll be in the best shape of my life. So that's the mindset I had when I was going through that shit. Fortunately enough, I had an 18B lawyer. My two co-defendants that finally, they kept it together, and I didn't know them, and we became friends and created a relationship. They had paid lawyers, so I think that helped out tremendously. You know what I mean? We went to our first hearing. A lot of evidence was missing, a lot of contradictions happening. Judge had to say, yo, listen, tell our lawyer, yo, you're beating a dead horse. Come back in chambers. They went back in chambers. They came back out with the offer of 13 and a half flat for manslaughter, 10 flat for assault in the first, and 5 flat for assault in the second. But me and my co-defendant wouldn't be able to take this 10 and 5 if my co-D didn't say he was taking a 13 and a half flat. So it all depended on him. So, we told him, yo, listen, shit, if I had to, I'd take that 13 and a half flat with you right now. You know what I'm saying? 13 and a half flat, it's not bad. It's not too shabby. You know what I mean? I would jump on that. So, by the grace of the gods, man, he kept it together, and he fucking took that time, and we ended up getting our time. And then, I went up for 5, and that was pretty much it. But in the midst of going through all this shit in Rikers Island and all that, I didn't know what was happening as far as this whole gang, how could you say it, relationship that we created, because we're on opposite ends, right? We're on 2 different sides, and I know for a fact you guys thought I was going to be the one to tell. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody was the weak link, the first person that would be pointed at would be me. You know what I mean? I'm not a part of y'all shit. I don't know y'all. Y'all don't know me. You know what I'm saying? I came up here for my man, and he's telling. You know what I mean? So it changed the dynamics of the relationship, because they're like, yo, son he's official. So in the midst of being on a run for that little 2 weeks, that person that turned me in was trying to also get me to turn Latin King. So he's trying to get me to stop being CRIP to turn Latin King, right? And I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. You're wilding. Like, I don't even know why you asked me that. You know what I'm saying? But the situation and the scenario, man, it was just complete fuckery. So, it was a part of the bullshit. But when I got to Rikers Island, everybody knows me for being CRIP. You know what I'm saying? But nobody knows that, we just caught a body on some other shit. This is 3 gangs involved. If you look at it, you got a CRIP, Latin Kings, and MS-13, and one of them just got slumped. So, it's a lot going on. I didn't know what was going on as far as the whole, I don't know, how would you say that? I want to say conspiring, you know what I mean? But I really didn't want to be the weak link, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I got approached a few times about, being presented with coming in and joining that family. I wasn't going to do it unless it was on my terms, right? Fortunately enough for me, I was able to get my terms met, and I went up with a cleanup squad. So that's what I was. That's what I was on. But I could do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I give it up, because that's the way I was when I was doing this shit. I'm not going to change for, you know what I'm saying? I don't really follow, rules and shit that well, if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
So it had to be on my terms. So that's what happened. And then, eventually I just say, yo, this shit is for what, man? You know what I mean? Like, for what? You know what I mean? And I just grew up, and I got mature, and I just said, yo, I'm just going to be myself. You know what I mean? I'm not going to have no attachments to nothing. I don't need it. Me, who I am, and myself, I could do that all by myself, if you get what I'm saying.
I get it. So what was the turning point in your life? I know you have your father, right?
Nah.
Oh, you're not? Okay, my bad.
Oh, no,
bad.
I am a father. No, yeah. So when I came home, I actually linked up with my kid's mother. She was in a group home with me. And we linked up. Facebook is the devil. And we had 3 kids together.
Okay. So what made you decide to start the YouTube channel and turn your life around and get out of everything,
So I
or
can
put the
see.
crime down.
Say
That's
that last
all.
part.
I mean, like, I don't mean get out of everything, like turn on your morals and all that. I just mean get out of everything crime wise.
So it's funny that you asked that. So 2017, I was going through a little bit of I lost a little bit of money, right? So I'm down to, you know, um, my last, and I get desperate. So I put the word out there, yo, I need something. Let's get this. That happens. I end up doing it. The dude tells on me, right? Um, I got financially situated. I came back up. Everything was good, but in the midst of this, my children were being abused by their mother, right? We're no longer together. It's not the same. Um, it's just it's a lot going on. So she's abusing them, and I catch wind of it. So um, I get my kids.
I hear that.
They come with me, and I have custody of them now at this particular time. But a month prior to this, I had just did what I just told you, right? Um,
Salute to you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
So as I have them, I get a knock at the door. So I'm like, oh shit, it's for this shit. And I didn't think he was gonna, you know what I'm saying? I kind of knew like it's a possibility, but I didn't think the percentage was that high. You know what I mean? I'm still going off of old morals and laws and shit of the street. You know what I mean? And everybody keeps on telling me, bro, those laws have changed. You know what I'm saying? You're a fucking relic. Um, so, when they did knock on the door, it was just like, yep, that's what that is. So I bail out. I fight in the case for about 8-9 months. I still have my kids. Um, but I'm about to go do time. I'm not I can't beat this. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna do a 1.5 to 3 or a 3 flat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I know I need to find somewhere for my kids to go because I gotta go do this bid. So, you know, me thinking that their mother would have learned something and been able to, get her shit together. We arranged through family court that she would get them back when I turned myself in, right? And that's what happened. I'd rather that than them going to the system.
Right.
So uh, they go with her. I go turn myself in. I go through reception. I get to my jail now. I'm there, and I got a 1.5 to 3. So I know out of this 1.5 to 3 in 18 months I could be home. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm not trying to get in no shit. I'm just trying to skate in here and skate the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So that's my mindset. But at the same time, on the flip side is this 1.5 to 3 can turn into something a lot serious. You know what I'm saying? If you don't walk a certain way, you know what I'm saying? You don't get
Yep.
involved with the bullshit. So that's what I'm trying to do at the same time. So I call, I think it was around this time, fucking Father's Day. And I'm like, yeah, I want to speak to my kids. And like, she's not, she said, yo, they're not here. They're with family. I'm like, yo, that shit doesn't sound right. So I'm like, yo, where are the kids at? She's like, yo, they took them, uh, they're in the system. So I hang it up on her and contact my wife. And I'm like, yo, listen, we need to contact a lawyer. We need to contact ACS. So she does all the footwork. She figures it out, um, you know, and she pretty much was abusing them. And there was reports and allegations of her, doing the wrong thing. So they ended up going in the system. They're in the system while I'm in the system. Now, because their mother still has legal custody of them, you can't just like I couldn't left them with my wife. Like that's not the way the court system works out here. Like once the mother objects to that, it's like
No, I know.
you know.
It's really hard.
So we're playing within the guidelines and stipulations or whatever it is that they already have set forth. You know what I mean? We're just trying to figure it out.
Right.
So they're stuck in the system. My kid's mother, she ain't got no family, and I ain't got no family. So it's like, yo, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Um, I get out. I get home on my merit. That's like the 18-month mark. Soon as I get out, as I was in there, I was also putting in paperwork and petitions and visitation and all that stuff. Just to stay relevant and stay on the docket. You know what I mean? Because after 2 years, they go for placement. They look for a home if nobody's going to be able to take them and provide guardianship. So I made the merit. I get out. As soon as I get out, I go down to ACS and I'm like, yo, listen, I want to see my kids. I got the petition. I go to the courthouse. I submit the petition, and I start seeing them every week. And then it became to day passes, overnights, and then they finally came home. Right now, I'm on parole. Right as I'm doing all this shit, I got parole stipulations for anger management and therapy because, you know, my history of everything that I went through, and then I got to take parenting classes for, ACS and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? And I'm doing all this stuff. So a year to the date, I came on May 6, 2019, May 6, 2020. The kids are back in my custody, full custody, sole custody.
That's a lot. You went through a lot.
Yeah. And they've been home with me ever since. Going through the schools and placement and stuff like that. They picked up a lot of habits that a lot of kids haven't been exposed to. So
you didn't give up though. You know what I mean? You didn't
give up. That's not who I am. I never give up, bro. That's not it. But the reason why I started the YouTube channel is because ain't nobody gonna be able to tell my story like me. And when I have great grandkids, I want them to be able to come back and see or have something to reference to. You know what I mean? Have some kind of a concrete foundation of, yo, that's grandpa. You know what I mean? That's the big homie. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that's really what it's all about. It's just leaving a documented series in a chronological order of just who I am and where I came from and how it affected me, and how I strived all through it, and I just keep on trucking.
Nice. I got a couple quick ones to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Being from the East Coast, New York City, like, what do you feel about the West Coast, just in general?
The West Coast is beautiful, man. I mean, the West Coast. You're talking about like just in general, right?
Yeah.
In general, I love to travel. I've been on the West Coast. I've been to Northern Cali a few times, man. It's beautiful out there. The landscape is amazing. Now, when you get into like the mindset and the culture, I haven't really experienced anything of that nature. The only thing I know is, the prison system is fucking segregated, and I would never make it there. You know what I mean? I'd probably never make it home. You know what I'm saying? So, I try not to think about it on that level. I think about it as far as it's rich.
The only reason I only asked that because my girl's from there. Anyway, so how many channels do you got? Just the one?
So I have one channel.
This main one, okay.
Stuck in the system, but I'll be cruising these streets, man. I'll be jumping on different platforms and giving my opinion, and it's been working out, bro. You know what I mean? It's
You're very intelligent. What do you think? Do you agree China is like trying to influence the youth in a bad way, our youth, and they're teaching their youth like the best education. They're teaching them how to like use computers, and honestly, I'm telling you, they're teaching them to read the book The Art of War, which is like how to get in your enemy's mind and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're using that TikTok stuff. If the government's banning it, obviously there's a reason for it, right?
Yep.
So I think they're using that to try to manipulate our youth in a certain way to think that it's okay to be like, they're too concerned on what they are, this, that, the third, what they're going to say if they're a he, she, this, that, or whatever, and trying to see if it's okay or not. And when we grew up, it was like, that was not okay, and it's just weird how they don't show that to their youth. When you look on, they don't have TikTok, they have a different app for it, and when you look at it, it's like all teaching them education and good things. It's got nothing to do with like, you know, the way our TikTok is, shaking booty and this and that.
So when it comes to China, right? For them to have their and you said that the school children are reading those books. That's what they're giving out in school.
Yeah.
Hey man,
I'm talking young.
So let's be real. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit, man. It seems like they're invading us through like a Trojan Horse kind of situation, and I say that because I've never seen so many Chinese people in New York City in my life, and I'm talking about you can go to Chinatown and you know you're in Chinatown, but when you're on a train now, you see an influx of Chinese people uptown, downtown, west side, east side. It doesn't matter where you're at. You're going to see an influx of Chinese people. And a lot of these, different countries that are coming in and seeing how America is so weak and vulnerable. And I'm pretty sure Canada too. You know what I mean? It's really, really easy to infiltrate America because of the fact that there's so much division. Right. Everybody is pretty much divided within, beliefs or judgmental ideologies or whatever, or it's all bullshit, but it's all a distraction to keep us separated. You know what I'm saying? And the more that they separate us, the easier it would be. I know in China, there's a certain time where they turn their TikTok off. And I know for a fact that they only feed their page with things that would actually make them excel. You know what I mean? Whereas with us, the algorithm like directly, instinctively dishes out shit to create drama and problems.
All right.
So, and like you said before, the government doesn't have it. You can't go into a government building with it. Like they don't want none of their government officials to have it on their phone because once you have it, it gives access. And I'm pretty sure there's some kind of sonar kind of thing where they can map out buildings and hear everything and attach to a phone. Because if me and you were to sit down with each other for a long enough period of time, our phones would eventually introduce themselves to each other and they would exchange information, whether you know it or not. You would pick up a piece of my algorithm and I would pick up a piece of yours.
Right.
And that's pretty scary in itself. And the fact that the technology of TikTok can do that, that's an infiltration, bro.
And it is true because, for an example, me and you weren't following each other or anything on social media. And then we went on YouTube Streets once together. And then I went to go see if I could get an interview with you, but all I did was go on Instagram and put in an S, and your stuff popped right up. All I did was put in the search bar an S, bro.
Yep. See how scary that is?
I was like, oh, there he is.
So I have another theory, too, that these algorithms are sentient in a way.
What? Sorry.
Sentient is almost conscious.
Okay. I could imagine. I believe that. Because since we're talking about it anyways, iPhones are really, really, I think those are from China, if I'm not mistaken. But these iPhones are so smart that it's literally like, I don't have one, my girl does, and it literally it's almost like a babysitter. It's almost like having a babysitter, dude. Like, it's so crazy, bro. It's like telling her, okay, no, you need to go and verify the email, when you're trying to do certain things and that. So you go verify your email, you put in the password and your email right, you put in your username right, and then it still tells her, okay, well, you need to, because she's in a different country now, right? It's like, you need to verify this code. So they send the code, and then you put the code in, and then they still are like, well, no, because you're in Canada. It's like,
well, you got to remember your terms of agreement and our terms of agreement are way different.
Yeah. Right. So she had to shut her whole phone down and get all Canadian apps. It was really screwy if you had American apps, even though if it's just a McDonald's app, even it's like you have to get a different one because it was like telling her it knew that she wasn't in America and stuff like that. It was telling her like, no, you can't use it. You're in Canada, more or less. And it's not just that; it's other things. Like we won't even search stuff. Never talked about it before. Never searched it before. Nothing in the algorithms. We're just talking about it in front of the phone, and then next thing you know, we'll get an ad for that thing.
Yep.
Right? It's just so weird.
So in the beginning, when this was like a baby, they were teaching it how to look for 3-word sequences. It was a combination of words that would be in sequence with each other, or in a certain parameters of a conversation or a sentence, right? So that's how they started it. That's how they started integrating and making it smarter.
It's a
And then
wild topic, brother. It's a wild
yeah,
topic, man. Me and you could probably go on about this all day. I'm really interested in this. We're gonna have to have you for a part 2 because we're already over an hour, bro. So we're gonna give you the last one to wrap it up, which is, I know you're very, very intelligent, dude. So give the youth a little bit of advice.
when it comes to the youth, right? Let's do this. I think that we should be talking to gentlemen our age and a little bit older, maybe even 32, 30s, because they still have a idea of how shit used to be. You know what I mean? They still caught the remnants of the old times.
Right.
But we have to really inform these youth that they will be a product and a statistic if they don't change the mindset of how things are influencing them and how things are pretty much, how can I say this, being set forth, right? Things are pretty much being set forth through all this technology and all this stuff. And if we don't say anything, right, they're going to be indoctrinized through the algorithms. And if we allow that to happen, they're going to fill up the prison system for the next 25 years. They're going to be the new cattle, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if that happens,
Yeah.
we failed, man. Like what was our purpose? Because we went through this shits for real. So if we allow this to happen to the youth and the generation, what good are we?
That's deep, bro.
Because I don't
agree,
even know
though.
where to start with the youth. I don't even know how to talk to them, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but there's got to be a way. You know what I mean? Because I know when I was young like that, and I was introduced to certain things, you can't tell me shit.
Right. We didn't want to listen to nobody, right? No guidance counselor or parents or nothing like that. But we did look up to the older dudes that had been in the mix and been through it. So I think if we get enough of solid dudes on here speaking about the stuff that we went through and that, maybe it'll do a bit of good. You never know. Right? That's why we're doing it, right? We're not doing it to try to promote violence or this or that or try to glorify the violence about being in prison or anything like that. We're just trying to, use our experiences, the bad experiences we've been through to try to, steer people away from that sort of lifestyle.
And there's another way that I look at it, right? When in America, right, there's a population of prisoners that you can only imagine. There's people that I think it's 2/3 of the population have felonies in America. So it's almost like people that have been through the system and have come out and seen what the system is really made for. You're considered a veteran. You know what I mean? You've seen the intricacies and the experience of the fuckery that happens and how it takes a toll on you. You know what I mean? And if you come out and you don't share that information with the youth and try to get them to divert and dodge all this fuckery, because before 2018 and the pandemic, man, the prison systems were empty. Like, they were letting lifers go. They were nonviolence were being let go. Like the prison systems were pretty much like they needed people, and this whole thing with the youth out here, anyways, with this gundemic thing, it's almost like the crack epidemic, man. I don't believe that this was a coincidence, and it just spread like wildfire. I believe that somehow, some way, this was introduced and shown and trained to the ones that were smart enough to pass it on. You know what I mean? Because the things that are going on with the access to these guns and all this shit, man, and the algorithms feeding the music, it's a recipe for disaster, man. It's like nobody's really paying attention to that. Like we know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But what can we do? We're spreading the message, you know what I mean? And it seems like their plan is working, man. Like this is actually something that's actually, it's the wheels
I
are
know.
rolling.
I know. If this keeps up by 2030, China's gonna have a World War III going on.
In what sense?
In like, if this keeps going on, us being blind to everything, like not us, because we know what's up, but like if the government and everybody just keeps like avoiding what's going on with China and not doing nothing about
You
it,
got to
it's gonna be
remember,
like
America
they're
is
gonna
a
get stronger and
corporation.
stronger.
But
They're gonna get stronger and stronger.
but the thing about America is once America took on the acceptance and actually not giving a fuck that America is a corporation, that's all we are, a product, bro. Everybody that comes here is a product, one way or another. You're generating the machine because everybody knows what the fuck is going on, but everybody follows the rules, right? Everybody still goes with the flow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're living this
personally
beautiful
think
lie.
they're training their youth for war, and our youth are going to be too, sorry to say, but if this keeps up, our youth are going to be too dumb to do anything. When it comes to it, it's like they're not going to know how to fight with these crazy. Like they're going to have weapons that we don't know how to use. The way
So
they're going to
there's
get
a few
smart.
things, there are a few scenarios that can take place, right? Whoever is coming from China, let's say before they get here and they send them over in droves, they're all vaccinated to whatever it is that they're vaccinated to. They come here, they set their roots in, and they release something over here. They're not affected because they have the vaccination, right? So all these people die, and then they take over and they start their own communities within the old communities of what used to be there. That's a possibility. That's a Trojan horse, right? So that's one way. But I think that if there was ever an EMP, because this is the statistics, right? 90% of the population within 9 months would be dead if there was a EMP that took out the power grid.
Right.
So you would be able to start over fresh from there. 10% of whatever was left from the initial EMP, and then the 9 months of people that didn't know how to survive, people that are killed, and everything else that comes into play. That's not a lot of people. So whoever's in another country or another place, they can come in here and take shit over.
That's a good scenario, like believable and very intelligent. Yeah, I know.
Because they need more land. They got a lot of people, man. They need more land.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we're actually sending topsoil to China to pay off a debt is bananas.
Yeah. And they're just keep loaning money to different countries to get more power. How they keep loaning more and more money to places like India and all that, and then India can't pay it back. So what's going to happen? They're just going to be in power, be in control, and be in power of India and these type.
You know what I believe? When it comes to India, right? And this might get a little touchy, but when it comes to India, you ever been in New York City? You ever been out here?
No, I've never been out of Toronto before, unfortunately.
Okay, so in New York City, our meter maids are all Indian.
Okay.
And the reason for that being is because their culture is so strict, right? They're real tight knitted, but they have a submissive kind of characteristic. So when it comes to sharing some kind of emotion or some kind of connection on maybe even talking yourself out of a ticket, you wouldn't be able, even if you didn't know where to begin, bro. They're so like ice cold that their culture, it puts up this block where there's no way that they can be scammed or they can be manipulated. You know what I mean? And that's for the factor of, yeah, I'm gonna put this fucking ticket on your car, and I don't want to hear your life story. Don't tell it to me because I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Politely. Because
Right.
when you see them, that you know they're not gonna sympathize with you, bro. They don't want to hear nothing. They're gonna put that ticket and they're gonna keep it moving. But I believe that there's some kind of agreement or maybe even a treaty when it comes to those countries that bring in an influx of these immigrants and put them to work. It's strategically placed that way. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the immigrants that are coming through, you don't think the Democrats are going to benefit off of that to collect the vote because not everybody fucking signed the census when it came out during the pandemic. And it's so convenient that the census came out during the pandemic. Of course, you wouldn't have a full census. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you would need the immigrants to take that place because when the census come into play, it's going to be low. So they're going to say, yo, we need more people. We need more votes. And yo, send them. Yo, send your people. Send them over. And we got hotels for them and everything. You're going to give us our vote? Yep. I'm okay. We got you. Get to fucking work and start paying taxes.
Yep. It's crazy, man. It's insane.
But that's what I was saying. As a corporation, as a business, this is the legal slave trade. You know what I'm saying? Wall Street was a slave trade. You know what I mean? So if you go back into everything that was being exchanged and stocks and bonds and all that, it comes back to enslavement. They just perfected it, and it's for everybody.
Yeah, I believe you, man. It's out of control with this stuff going on, man, and it's
and it'll be so much easier to pull the wool over people's eyes if there's more immigrants in the country, because whatever you tell them is what they're going to believe, and they're going to say, yo, we're already obligated and we feel a loyalty and a sense of obligation to give you this vote, and whatever you tell us, we're going to say okay because you took care of us, you let us in, you give us food. And you got to remember that plays on a mindset too, man. This is mental and emotional. This is a different kind of warfare that they're playing.
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is. Mental. It's a mental type of war.
Emotional. They're preying on people's disservices.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. What your Instagram is stuck in the system? Okay, I'm gonna pin that in the description and pin your YouTube channel in the description. All right, bro.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say?
It was a pleasure talking to you, man. It's always good to exchange knowledge, and I look forward to another interview, man. Have a good one, man, and be safe out there.
It was a great one, bro. I enjoyed having you on, man. We'll definitely have to do a part 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd like to have you on my show too, man. I would like to get a little background and a history of some of the things that you went through and the experiences out there, how your government works, and
For sure. We'll have to do that for sure. All right, man. All right, everybody. This was another interview by Talking Time at 6. We'll see you in the next one.